Chicago. What do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast presented by DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook. Make sure you use the code CHGO when you sign up today. Luke Stuckmeyer, Ryan Herrera, Cody Delmendo. That is Cody _CHGO, Ryan _A_ Herrera, HERRERA, and at Luke Stuckmeyer on Twitter if you want to follow us. And our Cubs Twitter handle at CHGO_Cubs.
Look at you, Stuck. Just getting it all out there today.
It's all interwebs and all that stuff.
Yeah. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Stucky's.
Hey, World Series is finally going to start.
Yeah, we got one more day.
I tweeted the picture just now on my Twitter account of us sitting here getting ready to start, and I swear I haven't seen Stucky smile like that in the 8.5 months we've been working together.
Well, you know what it is? Lots of caffeine today. Casey had Uber Eats bring Do-Right Donuts, so I had one of those.
That hit different.
And then Kevin Kadick went out, fired up the grill, and we had some bratwurst for lunch.
I know
that.
I saw.
So, I mean, what's not to smile about? And it's sunny out in Chicago. As a matter of fact,
It's a great day.
I strategically placed the string of my hoodie sweatshirt over the bratwurst juice that shot out of the bratwurst.
Well, now you don't have to hide it anymore.
Yeah, you know
That's a good point.
Just
That's a
showed the
good point.
internet.
We're honest with you guys. I got bratwurst juice on my shirt. That's what it is. It's all right. It's
Where
right
were
here.
you when
right
Stucky
here.
got bratwurst
all right.
juice on his shirt?
It happens.
Green Ridge Farm.
Yeah,
Best kind of juice you can have right there.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's talk about some stuff before we get to our grading. Today we've got Keegan Thompson and another guy. We won't bring up his name because that's going to be a surprise.
As if the title of the YouTube video doesn't have it in there.
And then we also have our exciting Who You Got World Series draft coming up today. Hello to everybody in the chat. I see Frank's here, David, Jack.
I like
Rockles.
Frank. He wasn't here during the season, or at least he didn't leave
Had good
comments
stuff.
during the
Been
season.
good in the
Joel's here.
offseason.
He's
a
been
lot.
here
Yeah.
in the offseason, though, and I enjoy that. I'm
Joel's
happy
here.
to see new people during the offseason.
We already gave it, I guess. Ortega's in there. Snyder's
yeah.
already breaking out the grades.
Yeah, we're breaking out the grades.
We'll get there.
So Wilson Contreras, I saw the Cubs tweet out Wilson Contreras, finalist for a Silver Slugger this year. Is it awkward that they tweet out, congratulations, Wilson, and we're fairly confident he won't be on the team? Or, I mean, it's the right
awkward.
thing to do. They have no other
yeah.
option. It's the right thing to do.
It's not the social team's fault. Like everyone's going to
yeah,
yell at
they
the social
gotta do what
team.
they gotta
do.
But like they're
I'm sure
At
the
the- on the other-
comments are all like,
They are.
extend him.
They are.
extend him,
yes.
They are
Heavily.
They were everything that you would have expected. Yes.
Sounds like the type of guy you'd like to extend.
Sounds like that. Oh, this guy's a great leader. Blah blah blah. It sounds like someone you'd want to extend. Yeah.
Yeah, it was understandable. I just thought it was interesting that it came out today. I don't think
More
it
than
makes-
deserving. I mean, he was the best hitting catcher in the league. I thought
I mean, he should
close
win it.
to it.
He should win it.
Yeah.
Now, the trick is, like, he's Silver Slugger, but did he catch enough games to qualify as a catcher, right? No, he was DH more than he was a catcher this year.
Yeah.
Weren't we talking about, like, Gold Glove and stuff, too? We're like, well, he wouldn't even have qualified for that.
I think because he didn't catch much towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like the whole season he was qualified. I don't know. Is there a DH
He was still the starting
category?
catcher in the All-Star game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
If
true.
That means anything.
And
true.
I mean, like you look at the Gold Glove in left field. Like David Peralta didn't even qualify for National League left field, innings.
Yeah.
And he's there. So
Yeah. I mean, Joel brings up a good point. JT Realmuto's he's a good hitter. Like, there's
Well,
a
yeah,
good
World Series.
that
That's
inside the
probably-
park home run he hit.
Yeah, like
And I'll say-
I guess that there'll be, it's going to be between those two probably.
I think if Wilson didn't have that really bad stretch in July, like he would be like, it would be hard to not give it to him because he was, I mean, his WRC plus was like 140, 150, something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then,
Get on his back. Throw up the back of the
Yeah.
jersey, right?
And
Get on
yeah,
my
That
back.
July, and then
Yeah.
he got hurt, didn't play like all of August.
He missed mostly all September.
Was it September?
Yeah,
Couldn't
September.
remember.
And because I remember like July, July was just a huge slump for him. And like you give him the credit because of all the trade stuff. And we know he's an emotional guy. And we know that, he wears his heart on his sleeve. It's the only organization he's ever known, all that stuff. So you give him a little benefit of the doubt because of it. But are you trying it?
Sorry, I was trying out Cody's new move. just to see if it
wouldn't work for me.
I just kept seeing Luke's like struggling.
It's a little uncomfortable. Let me try it the
move
other
his
way.
butt.
Maybe it's easier the other way.
I will say that.
Hold on,
never found
I wasn't finished.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Thanks, Cody. Look at this. I don't know what's happening. It's not working.
No, this one's more comfortable this way. This is better.
See, I can't reach.
This is better.
So I can't even
And
try
my
and do
computer
it.
kind of hides the bratwurst juice. Go ahead, Ryan. What were you saying?
I don't even remember at this point.
This is kind of comfortable. Hey.
I don't
It's a
even remember.
vibe, right?
Do I look comfy?
Off-season vibe.
Anyway, it's gonna be a close race, but I guess we'll see who they end up picking. He did end up with like a 130 or something like that WRC plus, so it still was a really good offensive season for him. 23 homers or whatever it ended up being. I think for these awards they don't really care if you qualify or not at this point. Like they'll kind of give it to whoever. So I guess we'll see. I don't know when they announced those. Did it say?
No.
I know the Gold Glove is, I believe, on Tuesday, November 1st, whatever day that is.
Well,
So I guess we'll know in like
considering
less than a
the
week.
guest coming in on Tuesday that I will not reveal, he's a big Ian Happ guy. And if Ian Happ doesn't win Gold Glove for left field, he might be leading the riot.
Oh,
So
I guess we'll see.
that's a good tease.
yeah. If you know, you know.
Yeah. So I went, yesterday we had the anniversary of Cubs finally winning a World Series game, right?
Yeah.
Today I went through my camera roll. I'm like, what was today? Oh, it was the workout at Wrigley Field, and I found the videos of one Kyle Schwarber 6 years ago today stretching and taking BP at Wrigley because the question was, will he play at Wrigley?
Oh, yeah.
Is the knee
because,
strong enough
yeah.
to play in the outfield? Turned out he didn't,
He did not.
he did not, but I remember him shagging some fly balls,
Yeah.
taking BP.
It's amazing how much better their offense was in Cleveland than it was at Wrigley.
Yeah. I
mean,
because of Kyle Schwarber being
Yeah.
able to.
outside
Yeah,
of Game
that's true.
5.
That-
Game 5, it was like.
but there wasn't a
But
lot of
even then,
offense
yeah,
in Game
either
5,
way,
though, right?
yeah.
Like that
Like,
was
they
all John
won that
Lester
game.
shoving it down their throats. But yeah,
Oh yeah, here, look at this hot video I took. Doing some stretching. Now he walks.
This is straight off your camera roll?
This is off my phone. Yeah,
Wow.
pretty. That it.
Good
Right,
quality
boom.
from 6 years
Pretty,
ago.
pretty
Yeah.
good, right?
for like an iPhone 7 or something.
iPhone got it done. And it was also our first look at Wrigley Field getting ready for the
Oh,
World
you
Series,
popped that
which was
one up.
kind of cool.
That's cool.
It was, you walked in and saw the sign
on.
World Series, and it was like,
I know that song. It's a good song.
I don't want any copyright, so I'm talking over it. Law Dog's over there right now looking. Can't hear it. Can't hear anything.
Can't really
Can't
hear
It's
it.
not
anything.
music.
It's not
that's
music.
somebody's boombox in the background of the show. But now he's getting ready for the World Series with the Phillies.
Yeah,
How
6
time
years
flies.
later.
Not just like the Cubs aren't even close to the World Series, but like one of their stars is carrying on with another team.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Michael. He says he won't watch Schwarber in the World Series. Just can't do it. Thanks, Tom. I'm with you. We don't agree on a lot of things, Michael, but I'm with you.
We're gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it, but
I think
like
it's gonna be a good series.
I'm like that comment sums up my feelings about a lot of it.
I
That
get the
sums it
feeling that like every game's gonna be close, but it might still be a sweep. Like I feel like the Astros, if they get,
I
a
already
lead,
bet
like
the
their pitching-
Astros in 4.
Their pitching
Did you?
is-
I did. I bet the
their pitching
Astros
is
in
that
4
good.
on DraftKings plus 850.
So see, that's what you were. I was going to save that. I would say World Series predictions. You both think Astros for sure.
I think yeah, and I'll give you a reason. Everyone, I know we have they've had this 4 or 5 days of just talking about the World Series and what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's talking about how the Phillies are like this team of destiny and all that. But like, what about the Astros? They've taken all this slander over the last few years, rightfully so because of
Thank
the
you.
cheating, rightfully so.
Cheaters.
But continuously, year after year, they still find themselves in championship series. They went to World Series last year. I think they got unfinished business. I think this team finally gets it done, and they kind of solidify the fact that they deserve to win that World
Yeah,
Series in
it's-
17.
It's also like at this point, like who's left? Altuve, Bregman from like
the two best players.
Don't give away all the names of guys we might draft.
Okay. But I'm saying is like 2017 was a long time ago. That team's changed so much, and like you said, like they've changed, but they've done it successfully. Like they let Herrera go.
Plus-
and
Yeah.
Jeremy Pena is a rookie,
And he
just
won the ALCS
like, he's
MVP.
so good.
Right.
I remember like when I was working in Houston last year, like spring training 2021, and I wrote a story on him, and his dad played in the majors for like 4 years. But he was this huge, big time prospect. And, obviously they still had Correa at the time. And so it was like, oh, when is he eventually going to come up? He's got Correa and a second baseman I won't name, I guess, kind of standing in his way, and a third baseman.
Yeah.
And then they are confident enough. I think they wanted to bring Correa back, but it just wasn't, it didn't fit. And they were like, okay, well, we got this really good shortstop in the minor leagues, and then he comes up and he's insane. He's insane.
Carlos
really
says
good.
team of destiny like the Cubs were in 03.
Yeah, I just think that the Astros have just as much of a team of destiny type mentality as the Phillies do. I mean, they have embraced the villain role. They have full on embraced it. Like
Imperial March. They should play it before every game.
And they've embraced it so much that it kind of makes me want to actually cheer for them.
It's also like when you're just when it really is the whole world against you, like that makes that team even closer.
Yeah.
So
Phillies are here playing with house money, but we're at the World Series now. It's not like you're in round 1 or round 2, you know what I mean? Like you got here, people are watching you now. There are expectations now that you got here, even though they are still playing with house money. I do think that the expectations are a little bit higher now for that team.
I'll take the Phillies.
Okay.
Just to be different.
Just to be different.
I'm
Just
going
to be
Astros.
fair. Like,
I'm taking Astros, man.
How many games?
In
What'd you say, 5?
4.
4, sweep.
Yeah.
I'll go in 5. I'll give the Phillies 1.
Do I get the rest? Do I get the Can I have the?
You can have any Phillies win like
and
in
Astros
4, 5,
and
6,
7. How about Astros and 7?
No, you can't have that.
Can I have Astros and 7 too?
No, you can have any Phillies.
If the Phillies win the World Series, it goes 7. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it goes
would have
7
to
if
be
the
7.
Phillies win. I don't think they win in a landslide like they did
Yeah.
against
Better
the Padres.
clip this. We better clip this.
You only get the Phillies wins. Whatever it ends up in, if the Phillies win, you can.
It would
have
only be
but-
right for me
right.
to be completely wrong about this, considering I sent a tweet back in like May and talking about how the Phillies spending all their damn money, yet they're being like as bad as they were at that point. Doesn't mean that spending money always wins you freaking World Series. And here they are in the World Series. So, I mean, I have been wrong about the Phillies more than once this year. So.
I don't know. I just like when I look at it, and the Phillies are hot, and sometimes being hot at the right time like helps. But again, the Astros are just insanely good at every aspect of baseball. And then like I saw someone say it on Twitter the other day. I'm like, they did kind of quietly win 106 games, because there was so much attention on the Yankees and Judge and
the Dodgers.
Pujols' home run, the Dodgers obviously. That's like all of a sudden the Astros are this quiet 106 win number 1 seed team, and it's like, and then you take a closer look at them throughout the playoffs. And you're like, holy crap, this team is really, really good.
Yeah,
I'm just glad the Astros moved to the American League, because then I would think completely different about how I feel about the Cubs right now if they were still an NL Central team like they were when I was a kid.
I think that's what Collazo feels
to
like.
me,
The
it's
National
still
League is playing the National
100%.
League.
I said that earlier today. It does feel like I can't think of the Astros as anything but National League.
When was that? Like 2013 or something?
Like the
that?
White Sox.
12?
Yeah. It was like right before, like
Was it a
they
decade
moved to
ago?
the AL right whenever they went into their like big ass rebuild.
Yeah.
It's been about a decade.
Yeah.
There's a whole
it hasn't been
generation
that
of
long.
baseball fans that doesn't get that. That
Yeah, no, I know.
understand the Astros
Yeah.
in the National League forever.
Well,
Isn't that
I
crazy?
still
When
think
I was
of
a
the
kid,
Brewers
I-
as American
I-
League sometimes.
yeah.
When I think about the Astros, I still think about Biggio and Bagwell and Berkman just pissing me off.
Roy Oswalt,
Killer bees.
Billy Wagner.
even
Like,
Clemens for a little bit there.
they had Clemens when they went to World Series in 05 against the Sox. Like they had some good teams. They had some good teams when they were in the National League. They just never. Like I actually watched a TikTok yesterday about this guy was talking about that iconic moment where Pujols hit that homer off Brad Lidge. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about like, why do people talk about this being such a big moment in baseball history? Because the Cardinals ended up losing that series against the Astros that year. Because I think that was in 05. And it just reminded me that watching it reminded me of like, sometimes I forget they were a National League team, but like they had some good teams back then. But watching that TikTok though of him asking like, why is it such a talked about moment? And I would think it's because after that Brad Lidge went on like a 2 or 3 year stretch of just being bad. But then he goes to the Phillies.
I mean, he's good
And
again.
he had like he didn't blow a save that entire season when they won the World Series. So it was like I guess that was a little bit of why he was talking about it, because it brought in the Astros and
Is that true, Luke?
and Phillies thing.
You still consider the Cubs
A little
NL
bit,
East?
yeah, a little bit.
Luke's old enough to remember when there wasn't.
There's a reason a
divisions.
lot of Cubs fans hate the Mets.
Well, I remember when there was no wild card.
Yeah, Luke just remembers when it was just National League and American League, no interleague play.
That's it.
And they went at it.
Played the other division winner, and let's go.
I remember when there was like that 2-week stretch in like June every year where there would be interleague play, and people would get excited about it because it was like, oh, the Cubs are going to play, I don't know, the Blue Jays or something like that.
Huge deal.
Well, it kind of sucked also because it's like, okay, you get that, but then, they're not going to play this team for another 10 years. Like, that was one of the things that sucked about non-interleague play, but it's kind of gone a little more to, like, MLB is just MLB now.
The All-Star game was cooler before interleague play.
That's true.
Because you got to see your player go against, especially for the Cubs when they were never going to the World Series. It was like you got to go see their teams.
What was it like to watch Gabby Hart in person?
Well, Sean, when the players used to leave their glove on the field and the other team would just take over the glove, leave it at second base, and the other guy'd come out and use the same glove.
What about Merkel's boner? Like, you remember?
No, I don't remember Merkel's boner. That I don't remember that. Patrick Mooney, by the way, I saw a cool article that he wrote about Schwarber. It's timely because Schwarber's getting ready for the World Series, but that James Triantos, the Cubs prospect, has kind of a relationship with him, in that, like, his dad, Triantos' dad, somehow knows the
like a
hitting coach for the Nationals, who helped Schwarber kind of reboot his career a little bit, and then Schwarber kind of guided him through the draft process, and then during the lockout last year, Schwarber just called him and said, hey, man, you ever want to come out to Ohio? And sure enough, 2 weeks later, Triantos went to Schwarber's house. They hid in a cage. He had him for dinner at the house. And it's interesting to see that he still could have a hand in the future of the Cubs, just in a different way. Maybe that impact a guy guiding him. Triantos is a young guy still, just a teenager.
I read the story, and I liked it because it really is just like one story of like everything we've heard about Kyle Schwarber as a person, as a teammate, and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's a reason the Cubs loved him so much, the reason the Nationals liked him, reason the Red Sox wanted him outside of his bat, and obviously the Phillies love having him in that clubhouse. Like, this guy's a big-time clubhouse leader, even when he struggles. He's there, and he knows what it takes to. Jesus Christ, like, this guy went from towards ACL, and 6 months later was playing in the World Series. Like, this guy understands adversity and how to overcome it and what it takes to succeed, at the major league level. So if it's someone like James Triantos, who's starting to rise up the prospect ranking, especially in the Cubs system, like.
But he was just a high school kid, right?
Even then.
But you're right. It does, like, we can sit here and say, yeah, Schwarber's a good guy. I say, I've talked to him. He's a nice guy. But that's a specific example of you're seeing him just being nice to a high school kid because his dad knew someone he knew. And in it, he's quoted as like saying, I love to talk baseball, and I'd love to be there for the next generation, right? Like, guys were there for me. I want to be there for somebody else that's trying it.
And that's Schwarber. That's Kyle Schwarber.
I'm looking at Triantos' numbers just because we had the Cubs farm system was so great this year.
Yeah.
But he was someone that, like, I remember coming when we first started this show. I remember Corey talking about how he was goo-goo about James Triantos.
James Triantos.
But other guys kind of like made us goo-goo gaga right this year, and he had an average year at Myrtle Beach. He was there. It was in Myrtle Beach all season. 102 WRC plus, 272, 335, 386.
And how old is he?
19.
Yeah.
So there's a
But
lot.
he started
There's
the
a
year
lot
at
to
18,
grow.
I think, right? Like,
yeah,
he
in 2021. He played 25 games at the Complex League, 25 games, and he mashed there.
Was it Triantos, the one that like hadn't played a game as someone like his own age or something like that? I remember seeing like his whole. Was it him? I don't remember which minor league it was. Like everyone.
They took him in the second round of whatever draft. I can't remember. And like, he's just kind of. I think. He opened some eyes, and it made sense because he had last year in those 25 games at age 18, 327, 376, 594.
There you go.
Hit 6 home runs. He had 7 home runs this year, so a lot of adjusting to do. So I'm interested to see where they have him next year. Maybe they start him in South Bend like they did Owen Casey this year, and go from there. But I mean, he's 19, so we got a ways to go with him, but. he's a guy. He's in the top 15 of the Cubs prospect rankings.
Well, he's when we talk about like they have waves of players coming instead of having all their prospects coming at one time. He's the next wave after guys like
We'll be talking about him potentially.
Armstrong and Brennan Davis. He's behind those guys for sure.
We could be talking about him potentially in like, I don't know, 2 more years. I would say 2025 is
the way we talk about Pete Crow Armstrong and Brennan Davis now is how you may talk about Triantos in a couple years, right?
Yeah.
Can you see
that's there for life.
That's bratwurst.
Where's he at now? He's already moved up to the number 11 top ranked prospect in the Cubs system.
Yeah, I've seen 10 and 11.
He was much higher at the beginning of the year,
Pipeline.
but that was big. That was when the Cubs system wasn't ranked as high as it is now. So that shows the depth. That shows the improvement, and obviously, guys really broke out. Certain guys really broke out. Plus the trades, getting Wisniewski bumped him down one probably. I remember they ranked him pretty high whenever he got put in the
him,
system.
Ben Brown. There's a couple that just like the re-ranks.
The draft, Kate Horton's in the top 5 already.
Yeah.
Right.
So, there's that. It's good to have a guy like him. Like, they could use him to trade. They could. And at 19, I guess I wouldn't mind it. But you also need the depth. You need to be able to continue to develop players, and he has a high ceiling, and if they wanted to trade him and you get a major piece back, like honestly, like
straight up for Ohtani.
This is a guy that I feel like you can throw in with 1 or 2 other guys, and then you're talking about maybe getting Shane Bieber or something like that. You know what I mean? Like but that's depending on if the Guardians really are not wanting to pay him eventually. You know what I mean? Like that's when it comes down to. Yeah. So that's the kind of the way that I look at him and his potential with the Cubs at this moment.
I will say also Fangraphs, like their prospect rankings. Triantos is already number 91 on their top 100.
Yeah, you
better prospect rank number 91.
He's no longer just a throwing guy.
No,
well, I don't think he's a throwing guy.
No, I know what you're saying.
And I get that like prospect rankings can be a crapshoot, especially when they're guys at like such lower levels and stuff. But like, to see that he's already kind of in at least one prospect rankings eyes, a top 100 prospect like this. I understand why Corey fell in love with James Triantos 9 months ago.
A grainy video from somebody's camera phone. Like, oh, that guy.
No, he heard like I think Brendan probably was out at Arizona.
Yeah,
like called Corey's like Corey, just listen to this and like heard like put it up to like
Brendan was there painting watercolors of him.
Putting graphs together
on the side of the field with watercolors.
Maybe I am ranking him a little too low. Then like maybe he would be more than just a throw. But at age 19, I feel like
at age
he's young.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of work to do.
You would trade. A team would trade for him and one other guy if they're honestly doing a salary dump, in my opinion. Or if they just know that they're not going to pay a certain guy and they just want to get some value back. That guy has a high ceiling. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do for him regardless. Like even if he sticks with the Cubs, like there's a few years to go.
A few years for sure.
Shohei. All right, so the Greenridge Farm bratwurst, juicy as I can attest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you got the problem that Stuckey has, maybe consider using a napkin. But otherwise,
I bit into it.
What about like a bib?
Aggressively, and it just.
You need to get him a bib.
Yeah. Make sure you have a napkin
apron.
when you eat your meats from Greenridge Farms, because it is Chicago's best local meat and cheese company, offering you a better all-natural option. Makers of all-natural deli meat, sausages, and their famous meat sticks. Meat sticks.
Where's Meat Peck? He would do it well.
Perfect for tailgating. We got the tailgate next week against the Dolphins after they beat the Cowboys this week. I'm talking myself into it. We're going to have immaculate vibes, including with Greenridge Farm meat sticks out of the tailgate. I'm telling you, it's perfect for tailgating, happy hour, school lunches. These all-natural meat sticks are hardwood smoked for 8 hours. 8 hours.
Not 6, 8 hours.
16
not 1,
grams.
not 2, not 3, not 4.
8. Thank you, LeBron. 16 grams of protein per stick, guys. Makes for a perfect post-workout snack. Meat sticks come in chicken, Black Forest beef, and flavors like jalapeno cheddar, if you like a little kick.
Oh, yeah.
And some spicy chili, even. Haven't tried them yet? You don't know what you're missing. Delicious because they are made from recipes generations in the making, and being all natural, they deliver a fresh and flavorful alternative at snack time. You can always find them in the refrigerated section at Costco, Sam's Club, or in your local Chicagoland grocery store. Right now, when you order any 3 meat products at greenridgefarm.com and include a pack of meat sticks in your cart, those meat sticks will be free simply by using code CHGO at checkout. That's an incredible deal.
You know, when the cold weather really gets here, maybe you take the spicy chili one, dice it up, and dump it in some spicy chili.
They're long, right? Like, you cut them up a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. You take one right in your chili.
I like that noise.
I feel like you cut them up, and then you.
I don't know if I could do that.
Then you get the cube cheese. You got yourself a nice charcuterie board.
Ooh, that's a good call.
As a millennial, I'm a big charcuterie board person. I don't like to make them. I'm just lucky to have a blonde girlfriend who loves making them.
Mm-hmm. Now, what does the blonde part have to do with anything? If she were a brunette, she could never make a charcuterie board.
I just like to emphasize that she's super basic. That's it.
You got to get the fig jam.
Oh yes,
on a charcuterie board.
Yes, and like those those chips things. I can't remember what they're called, but with the fig jam, yes, the fig jam for sure.
Bruschetta.
The fig
bruschetta,
chips.
or are you talking about like
fig tips?
What'd you say?
Fig chips.
Yeah, they're like a pretzel type.
Yeah, freeze dry, or they're not freeze dried, but they're good. I know what you're talking about.
Get that with the Greenridge Farms. Oh man, you're gonna have yourself a nice charcuterie board, perfect for your tailgates. Your
nice soft white cheese.
Yeah, perfect for your table at home when you're watching college football from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. like I do every Saturday. Like, just set up.
You know what else you want? You want all the gear.
Oh,
you do.
Absolutely.
You want the gear.
You want the gear.
You already
guys.
have the best coverage for your favorite teams. Now get fitted out in the best sports gear around. Foco's got you covered from Soldier Field to the French Room, North Side, South Side, hoodies, slippers, signs, bobbleheads, everything in between. Go out and get decked out like DeMar with apparel from the leader in sports merch and collectibles, Foco. Looking for the perfect gift for that football fan in your life? Foco's got you covered with hoodies to fight that Lake Michigan breeze. Check out Foco.com or click the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO for 10% off. Okay, report card time. Here we go. We're going to knock out both of them in this segment because we still have our draft coming up.
Let's do it.
Keegan Thompson. Who wants to go first on Keegan Thompson with the report card?
I feel like
same way. Just Cody, you go first.
We'll just keep it. Yeah, keep it regular.
Everyone knows how much I was a big Keegan Thompson guy this year.
Mayor of Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, you made him mayor.
He became mayor.
I'm surprised you didn't give him an A just for that.
Well, you know, if I'm going to give Justin Steele a B, then I can't go higher than a B, and that's what I did here. Overall, go B. Results B. Stuff / adjustments A minus. This guy has a bulldog mentality. He showed that this year. He took a really big step. Expectations, maybe I'm being a little too low considering the expectations. You didn't really have any. You didn't know. You were just hoping he'd go out there and show you something. He did more than show us something. So maybe you could convince me to boost it up to a B+. And he gave us some hope, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, the results, I guess as a starter, maybe I jumped ahead too much with him as a starter, but he had a really good stretch as a starter, being really good. But then before he went on the injured list, he had a couple bad starts, and I don't know. I don't know, but
if you were just grading him as a reliever, you might have A.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just grading him as a reliever, I feel like an A is perfect. I mean, he had an ERA under 2 as a reliever, and he was a multi-inning reliever. He come out there and just shove it down your throat. He should get an A, honestly, for hitting Andrew McCutchen that one time.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I knew that.
I thought that's what you were gonna do.
Right? Like, there's plenty of reasons. I'm trying to be fair here. I can't give him a higher grade than Justin Steele.
If we're building an all-star team from this Cubs team, he definitely is on it.
What was your overall grade? B.
I gave him a B. But
I don't know how that could be anything but fair.
The stuff.
That's fair. He was at
the
least
stuff
a B.
/ adjustments are. I gave him an A- for that because he literally developed a new pitch in season.
As he was transitioning from a reliever to a starter, he also introduced a slider. Like,
he had some good starts. He went into Los Angeles against that eventual 111 win team and shoved it down their throats for 7 innings.
Yep.
He should have got a win that day, but the Cubs didn't. They blew it. It wasn't his fault that they lost. Like he shoved it against the Braves after, I think, to snap the 11-game losing streak. Like, he had a bunch of great starts, and then he shoved as a reliever. There's no reason that this guy shouldn't get any, or there's no reason this guy should get anything lower than a B, in my opinion.
Colada says C+, but you better watch out, Michael, because if we're going to trade him with Triantos for Shohei, and they see this podcast,
maybe
Yeah,
his value is as high as ever. If they did want to trade him, they could. You know,
they're probably looking at it right now. What Cubs podcast could we look at?
Knowing the Angels and how they run things,
yeah, right. That could happen.
I guess I'll go. All right. Yeah, so I think our results and stuff were the same, but I went with the overall B+. Like Cody said, just results overall weren't like, there was 3.76 ERA, just below, it's like an 8.5 K per 9, all that stuff, which is good, especially for a guy that's kind of second year in the league, bouncing back and forth between bullpen, starting, getting hurt, back to bullpen, that kind of stuff. But I had to get with the stuff A-. I mean, the way he adjusted, again, as we said, just bringing in a new pitch that actually looked good. Like I remember talking to Daniel Moscas about it, and it was like, yeah, like it really took him like a 4 or 5 start stretch or so to kind of get it going. Before he, because that gives you the time when you're a starter to work on stuff in your in between starts, so like in the bullpens, in between other kind of stuff, catch play, all that. It gives you more time to be able to work on that kind of stuff than if Keegan was still in the bullpen. So that's how he was able to develop it, but also took him a few starts to really, trust it, get the right shape, the right grip, trust it, build that confidence. So all that goes into, like, as far as adjusting to things, like, not only is he adjusting to being a starter, he's also adjusting to, like, hey, I'm trying to learn this new pitch that could be a crazy good weapon for me, but I'm also doing it in season, not in spring training. Right. So I think that his stuff looked so good, and we know that he didn't have a crazy high strikeout rate or anything, but
he got outs.
Yeah, he got outs. He got people out, and that's kind of what he asked for. And then as far as just the overall, I factor in just like the Cubs are looking for pieces for the future. And all right, Colada. Yeah, if Hoyer watches CHGO, that'd be cool. I'm okay with that. But no.
Man, I'd be a little afraid considering some things I've said.
If you're just, by the way, if you're just listening to the podcast every once in a while, that's okay. But if you're missing out on the YouTube show live, you're missing out on Colada.
Yeah,
you really are. He might as well be part of the show at this point.
But yeah, the Cubs and Jed Hoyer obviously are they're looking for key pieces to this next great Cubs team, right? Mm-hmm. This is what this whole season was about. Yep. I mean, if they had snuck into the playoffs somehow, that was just gravy on the season, whatever. The whole season was like, can Justin Steele be a guy for us? Is Stroman for the next couple of years? Is he going to be a guy, a veteran starter while we bring some of these other guys up, right? Maybe Ian Happ was kind of a prove it year for him too. Before, like, now, it sounds like they're thinking about getting him an extension. This was the year for Keegan Thompson to do it, and starting wasn't as good, but when he was a multi-inning reliever, dominant. There was a point where we were like, when he first moved to the rotation, and we're like, oh, if he can go back out there and keep shoving as a starter, he might be an all-star. Yeah. Like, we got to that point. Was it maybe more of a pipe dream? Sure, but it was at that point. And so you're looking at it, and it's like, if his floor, in my opinion, might be as a dominant multi-inning reliever, a guy that you can go out, you can trust to go out there. If I'll give an example. Hey, Marcus Stroman was only able to get through 4 today. Keegan Thompson could probably get you at least 4 more. Kyle Hendricks only got through 5 2/3.
There's a few appearances he made where he came in like the 6th.
That's what I'm saying.
Even if his floor is a guy that can only get you 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a valuable role.
2. Yeah. But it's like
in today's game, yeah.
The fact that Keegan can go out there and give you 3, maybe like 3 1/3, 3 2/3, even 4 maybe, and like just finish out the game, get the save, all that, like that's unheard of in baseball until like recent years. And he seems like a good one. So I'm like, I think I think if that's your floor, like you're completely fine with that. And if he ends up developing into a starter, okay. But I like where he's at right now. I like where he's at because it seems like he has a really good future in his role as just a multi-inning guy out of the bullpen.
And that role you're talking about in old baseball was just a guy who did slop time.
Yeah.
Your starter got blown out and you're just trying to get the game over with and not burn. But that's not how it works anymore because the starters don't go 7-8 innings anymore. So now that guy becomes valuable. Well, and we've talked about which one's more valuable. I don't know. The Cubs may have that answer. Is a four starter more valuable than a guy who could come in and give you 3 solid innings 3 times a week? I don't know about that.
That's a question now.
Yeah,
back in the day, it wasn't.
Yeah, but that's a valid question for every organization now.
Yeah, and it's also like, especially with bullpens getting cut down now to, I think it's 13.
Yeah,
that means if you stick with a 5-starter rotation, then you got 8 bullpen arms, and there could be multiple games in a row where it's a close game. You got to use some bullpen guys. So to have a guy like Keegan who can pretty much give your entire bullpen a night off, that's also invaluable. Yeah, that's huge.
And we talked about Leiter and Rucker and how they used them in like those multi-inning roles. Well, they would bring Keegan in if they had a lead.
Yeah, like those are more lower, medium to lower leverage. Like Keegan's your high leverage guy.
Him and Alzolay might be their highest like upside multi-inning relievers.
Yeah,
sure.
No, I'd agree.
Well, we all have real similar grades here on him. In fact, I think Cody and I may have the exact same grade.
Card. Yeah,
we do.
And I think, again, we talk if the top category were results and vibes, then he would have gone to B+ because he had the Mayer thing. He hits McCutchen. He kind of gave a couple snarls this year, a couple struts off the mound. I could have gone as high, but just like you, I don't think I went that high with Steele, so I was trying to remember what I did. I think overall B, everything you said, the fact that he adjusted mid-season, adding a new pitch was super impressive. A great season for him. No question about it.
I think you can argue him, outside of Contreras and Happ, which are position players, I think you can argue him being the brightest spot of the pitching staff in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was ahead of Steele for a while.
Because Steele didn't really come along until June.
I was like
Steele. Hughes wasn't getting as much play at that point.
It was like Steele was like, he would get through 5 pretty often, but it was also like he'd have one inning where it was like, oh, man.
Thompson was coming in and just shoving it down.
Yeah, if he could have gotten through that one inning for Steele, if he gotten through that one, no damage, he probably could have gone 6 or 7, but this one, Keegan would just come in and do it. But, obviously Steele picked his stuff up. Keegan wasn't as good as a starter, but you're like, again, when he went right back to the bullpen, he was dominant again. So it's like, you got something really good at that point.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they, use him next year. Yeah. I think he can spot start for sure, but I think at this point, going back into the bullpen will be his best route, and just kind of be one of those multi-inning guys. So,
well, not too many relievers get Cy Young votes.
He said a B+ is the Cy Young. A Cy Young vote.
Right, I
gave you a nice comment earlier, Michael. I'm sorry.
Come on, Colada.
Come on, man.
We've got 20 minutes left. We still have to do the draft. Let's fly through Rafael Ortega. Let's not waste a ton of time on Ortega because, frankly, it's not worth it.
Okay, so Ortega, I'll go offense D+, defense C, and then overall C-. And I only say that because at one point you could argue he was having a better season than Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich is a fraud. So that's basically how I based this off of. In that stretch, it was from May through June. I think July he started to struggle a lot, along with Contreras at the beginning of July. But basically, early mid-May through all of June, he was playing really well. We were starting to talk about him being like a trade piece, and we were like, "Oh, let's just get something for him, right?" Yeah. But yeah, then he kind of fell off, and the defense he's had some nice plays, he had some bad plays. The base running's bad. I don't know where to put that. If you want to put that on offense, I guess that goes well with the D+. Overall, I just think he's a solid bench piece for a good team at best. If not that, it's a depth guy that comes up and down from your minor league system. I was hoping that he could get back to that OPS of 900 or more, or whatever it was in the second half of 2021, but he just didn't do it. and this isn't against him, but every freaking time that David Ross led him off for a game, you just knew that nothing right was going to happen. He had some moments, but like again, C-. There's worse players on this team, but also it's not. There's nothing to. It's very similar to Leiter and Rucker.
Ryan, Rafael Ortega.
Yeah. So I went D+ on the offense, C- on defense, and D+ overall. Very, I guess, similar aspects to what Cody said, but the offense just after the year he had, most of the year that he had last year, you're like, okay, this guy could be a good bench bat, and it just wasn't great. Like he had, again, like Cody said, he had that stretch. It was 24 games, May 28th through June 28th, so about exactly a month. He had 348, 981 OPS. He was hitting out of this world, and it was serious share. Like, hey, if this guy keeps it up, like they could trade him, they'd get something out of him. And then the rest of the season just wasn't very good offensively. And we kind of talked about how he was never going to be a guy that could hit lefties that well. But you thought maybe he could hit righties pretty well. But when you look even at his numbers against right-handed pitchers, 242 batting average, 698 OPS. Like, it was better, but it wasn't like great. It wasn't a good year for him overall at the plate. Yeah. Besides that one stretch, I just didn't see any improvements from the last year, which is like, I mean, he was an older guy. I think he's 31 now, something like that. Like, okay, it happened, but it wasn't improving, and a lot of his season was filled with slumps. Yeah. Besides that, he had a great month. Just those slumps kind of outweighed it. Defense, I gave him a C- because he played fine enough defense when he played, but he also didn't play. He DH'd a lot this year. Mm-hmm. He DH'd a lot while the other guys, it was like Ian Happ, Morales in center, or Velasquez, or Seiya, whatever that kind of mix was. It kind of got to the point where they were just DHing him a lot.
He doesn't hit well enough to be the DH, by the way.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it was just all average defense, except he just didn't play enough. He didn't play a lot of, I guess, is what I'd say. He didn't play a lot of defense this year because he was DHing more. So a little bit of knock on there, but a C-. So D+ overall. I know the guys in the locker room like him. He is an older player who kind of is one guy that just worked his butt off to finally get a shot in the major leagues. Took advantage of it for a little while there. Someone that, some of these younger guys coming out of Latin America can look up to is like, hey, just keep working, man. Just keep working. You'll get your shot eventually. You just got to run with it. I think I gave him a D+. That's just, I think when we go to this offseason, we look at the 40-man. My gut says he's not with the Cubs again next year. He doesn't stick on the 40-man all offseason. Is what my gut says.
Galata says C is a good utility guy. I can't go as positive as that. I agreed with a D+ overall. I went offense D. Defense was C for can't really remember. I don't really remember a whole lot about him defensively, to be totally honest.
I just think of a few plays that he messed up on. Like
nothing stood. I don't remember some great diving catch or taking away home. Like, not enough. I give him a C. If I don't remember you being terrible and I don't remember you being good, you were probably somewhere in between. I'll give you a C.
Yeah.
But overall, D+, because again, I'm comparing him to other outfielders in Major League Baseball. He's certainly below average.
He's not a starter in Major League Baseball.
He's maybe a utility guy.
Yeah, and it's not even like he is going to bat against righties.
That's probably why I gave him a C- though, because I think he's a good, off the bench guy at best.
We talked about the possibility this week about Cody Bellinger being your potentially a fourth outfielder, maybe first baseman. We're like, well, he hasn't been hitting well the last 3 years. Yeah, but would I take Cody Bellinger over Ortega?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100 out of 100, I would take that chance. Mm-hmm. So
absolutely, even if you are paying him significantly more.
Yes, 100%.
I know we talk about Delmetrics. I want to know what Culata's metric.
He wants to
system.
give Keegan Thompson a C+ and Ortega a C. That's Culata-etrics.
Ricket metrics. Something like that. I don't know how to say it. Game time. Woo. Woo.
All right. We talk about Game Time all the time. That's because we love it. Game Time is the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. Ever dreamed of sitting in a seat you never thought you could? 50-yard line, courtside, behind home plate? floor seats at a concert. That all sounds really good, actually. It's possible with the Game Time app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy. You won't find a better deal this season. You want to go to a Bears game, a Bulls game. You're trying to go down to spring training or something. Get your Cubs game or a White Sox eventually. You won't find better deal on this season. It's created by fans for the fans. Guarantees the lowest price. If you love CHGO, you'll love Game Time. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in our description. That's on YouTube. That's on in the podcast description, I would assume.
Right. Yes.
Link.
Yes.
And then I believe it's on. If you go on allchgo.com, you can find it there as well. So yeah, click the link in the description. Buy your tickets on Game Time there. Join over 15 million people who have downloaded the Game Time app and score the best seats to all your favorite events.
Very nicely done. So you ready for the big draft?
I'm ready for the big draft.
The big draft. The final who you got draft of the season.
I need a break from who you got, so I'm glad that this is over.
So we're doing who we're gonna pick 4 players, guys from either team. You could put on your roster to follow their stats. You don't have to have a Cubs connection because there aren't enough of them, and you don't have to have a pitcher if you don't want to have a pitcher. But if you want to have a pitcher, go ahead and take a pitcher as one of your guys, or 2 of your guys, or 3 of your guys.
Okay.
You ready?
What's the order?
Looks like we have the
We're
order.
starting, yeah. So the first order is Luke. Then we'll go Ryan.
Oh, that seems
then
fair.
We'll go
How was this
Cody.
pick?
That's right.
I just won the playoff. Who you got? How was this order
Well,
pick?
that's certainly debatable. We all had
It wasn't
that big
debatable.
debate on
It
there.
wasn't debatable. Steven even said it as an
I
objective
believe this
third
was
party.
set by the law. Was this set by the law, dog?
This is the worst pick. The second pick is the worst pick to have. You want the first or the third?
We asked if Lawrence could change it, but
Well, you did finish
Never.
last
You
in
never
the
did.
first 2 you got.
We still don't have.
And,
we still don't know that
and
yet.
at best, you finished in a tie for first in the
I
next
think
one.
not having the first pick is good because
At
I had
best, I
the first
finished in
pick
a
for the
tie
last
for
draft, and I
Didn't go well.
That didn't
Didn't
go
go
well.
well.
So you should consider yourself lucky.
I will take on with the first pick in
Had
the
my whole
Who You Got
strategy.
World Series Edition draft. The Stuckmeyers select Kyle Schwarber
Okay.
because I want Schwarbs. I want Schwarbs on my team. I don't care if you want to take whoever. You want Altuve? Go ahead and take Altuve.
Okay.
You want I don't know, go ahead. I'm not even gonna say names because I don't want to give anybody away. I'm taking Schwarbs.
All right. Like I guess I'll go second, and I'm gonna take one of the hottest hitters on the planet right now.
SCH
You're getting it. You're getting it.
W SCH. No.
Oh, wait,
No,
wait.
go back. S.
Are you putting like
S-
Schuckmeyer?
SCH
W
WA
RBER.
Schwarbs.
Sarah didn't do her research today.
Well, it's not research. She's not a speller.
I know.
She was never in the spelling bee at school, and that's all right.
That's okay.
Actually, I was in one and didn't make it very far
Yeah,
at
that-
all.
You weren't the kid
explains
elementary
it.
You weren't the
school.
kid
That
that
makes a lot of
passed out,
sense.
were you?
I have a journalism degree and I can't spell.
Well, that's right. You don't want to be the kid where they say spell butterfly, and the kid's like, "Kunk," and he passes out. Have you seen that video? The one kid, like the ESPN spelling bee. All right, who's your second pick? We'll spell each guy's name.
All right. So
You have to spell them to pick them.
my,
You have to spell them to pick them.
my second pick. I don't know what's happening. My second pick, hottest hitter on the planet, or one of them at least. We're going with Bryce Harper. Let's do Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper.
Got him with Bryce
Yeah,
Harper.
that would have been the first pick if
I-
I didn't have a heart for Schwarber. So,
I think he's the obvious number one.
well, especially after the series he just had.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
Yeah,
was unbelievable.
unreal. That 2-run home run. That was an elimination game, wasn't it?
Yep.
Bottom of the eighth
Yeah, he was.
or seventh, whatever it was.
Schwarber would have won potentially the NLCS MVP. You could have made an argument for Schwarber, but until Harper hit another home run, it was like, forget it. This is
Schwarber's missing an R, by the way, at the end of the name.
SCHWARBER.
All right. Cody's
Kyle
up.
Schwarber.
Okay.
If I hit it on the scoreboard, my name is Schwarber. I used it in context.
Well, if I think the Astros are going to win in 4, That means
Yeah,
that I
gonna
think
pick a
that
lot of
Justin
Astros.
Verlander is going to go out there and
Ooh.
shove game 1.
Oh,
So I'm going
I
to
was-
take Justin Verlander. 1, because he's probably going to win Cy Young, and 2, because Kate Upton is a goddess. There you go.
She's also blonde, so
She is also
And
blonde.
again,
Blonde.
hopefully your girlfriend is not watching today's draft.
She knows. She knows.
She knows.
she's okay with it.
All right, so this is a snake draft, so Cody gets the double pick here.
Ooh, okay. Next up, again, I like the Astros in 4. I'm going to take Yordan Alvarez. He's been mashing all postseason as well. Yeah, I mean, he single-handedly beat. Was it the Yankees first 2 games at home?
Oh, when he had the back-to-back, was it go-aheads or walk-offs?
That was
going to
be my. That
He
would
hit
have
the
been my
walk.
pick.
He hit the walk-off, right, in game 1, and then in game 2, didn't he have another home run? Right, like he's hit
Man.
well this.
I think
this
Yordan is A-N at the end.
All right.
Yordan.
I'm sorry,
It's
I
like
forgot to spell
Jordan,
it.
but with
Cody
yeah.
didn't spell it. He
Why?
forfeits the pick.
I did not forfeit
I like
the
it.
pick.
I like
Stucky.
That should be the way we do it.
Oh,
All
shut
right,
up.
my second pick, another hot hitter, had a great ALCS. Was not named ALCS MVP, but probably was in the conversation. We're gonna go with Alex Bregman.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
We're gonna go with Alex Bregman, and nothing else needs to be said. I like Alex Bregman here.
And you don't have to spell his name?
No, she got it.
She got it
okay.
right.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
just saying. I thought we were all spelling names.
No, I was watching it,
I'm catching on.
figuring it out.
Sarah's
Not
getting
everyone's
comfortable.
perfect.
No, that's right. I'm
We all
trying.
have flaws.
I'm trying to decide between Fromber, Nola, Schwarber.
Well, you have 2 picks, so you can.
Oh, that's right.
pick
I
them
do.
both if you want.
That's a good point.
Good.
I will go with Aaron Nola, Aaron space Nola, Aaron Nola, because I think he might outduel Mr. Verlander in Game 1 if that's the way they decide to go. I haven't really
Ooh.
seen the pitching matchups.
Might be Wheeler, right? I think it's Wheeler.
I would think
Wheeler's
it might
been
be
better.
Wheeler, but
Yeah.
I would think it's Wheeler.
You
But
think it's definitely
I guess-
Wheeler?
I guess we'll see.
Nola had the bad. He took the loss of the one game they
yeah,
lost.
Padres.
Right?
Yeah, he ended up giving up like 5 runs or 4 runs. whatever
Upside.
it was.
I think upside.
All right.
Cody.
Side.
And my next pick, speaking of upside, you know what? I'm going to go Hoskins.
Reese Hoskins.
Yeah. I'm going Philly heavy.
Oh, that's one you gotta spell.
Oh, sorry.
RHYS.
RHYS, Reese.
No.
No,
Hori-
RHYS is, I think, is correct, isn't it?
Got to get rid of the
HYS?
H.
Yeah,
there you go.
go. We got you, sir.
HOS. There it
Reese
is.
Hoskins.
Yeah.
Reese Hoskins. That's
Look at it. I've gone all Philly.
Oh, you.
I have no ass.
Hey, it makes
That's
sense.
with my pick.
Yeah.
I'm picking Phillies.
All right.
I'm going all in, as Cody would say. I'm pounding the Phillies.
He's pounding
All right.
the Phillies.
Double
my
down
pick-
on the Phillies.
My pick, I wanted Verlander again. I had a feeling about him, but Cody took him. So I'm going to take the pitcher that's right behind him, who may be even better in the World Series. I'm going to go with Lance McCullers Jr. Lance.
Verlander actually hasn't been that great this postseason, but
He had that one bad start in Game
Yeah.
1 against. Was that?
he's got the postseason experience.
Yes,
though.
I know.
I'll ride with Verlander anytime. Again, he gets to go home with Kate Upton. He's going to figure it out.
Are you, with your last pick, are you taking Kate Upton in this draft?
No, her vibes in the
Did
stands.
Cody
do not give me
Delmetric
points.
select Kate Upton with the final pick of the draft?
MCCULL. Here. Yeah. Well, technically
Double
there's
C.
3, but ERS. You could just leave it like that. It's fine. But I am talking about Junior, just so you don't try to
Oh, okay.
like snake me later on in the draft. Oh, or she'll just do that. All right. Cody, you're up.
All right, so I've taken a power hitter and I've taken a power pitcher. The postseason's all about not that Ben Zobrist wasn't a big name, but he was
Right. Surprise guys.
He was a surprise guy. No one had him winning
good
World
call.
Series MVP, right? So again, as I see the Astros in 4 here, I'm gonna take a little bit of a flyer here with my last 2 picks. First, I'll go I will go.
Let's go while we're young.
I gotta go Altuve. I mean,
that's what I was going to do.
I was going to take him
He's
on the way back.
so due.
he's due.
I was going to take him on the
He's
way back.
absolutely due. So
Get the
Jose
trash can thing going again for him. He'll be really hot here.
Altuve, Altuve. There you go. I spelled it for you.
E.
There you go.
There
it is.
Jose Altuve. We got the porn bots.
So I got an infielder. I got a power DH. I got a power pitcher. Now I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I need like just a guy who does a little bit of everything.
Castellanos
doesn't play defense.
Martin Maldonado.
No, I don't.
Oh, that's
I'm
what
not
I would
choosing
go
a
with.
Cubs legend. I don't know why, but man, do I want to take not Trey Sweeney, Yankees legend, Trey Mancini. That's who I want.
Mm-hmm.
So Trey Mancin.
No Phillies, huh?
we should have forced each other to take one Cub because then Maldonado would have had to have been picked.
Yeah.
Somebody gets Schwarber, somebody gets Castellanos, and somebody gets Maldonado.
Maldonado, yeah.
That would have been brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another eye.
Another
at the
eye
end
on
there.
the end of Mancini as
Mancini.
Ryan goes, and he's on the clock at 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah, this has been feels like it's been going on for 2 hours, doesn't it?
It's
not even
at the very
2:20 yet.
end, Sarah.
Oh no, yeah,
Not in the middle there.
I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I kind of want to take a Philly, but I also kind of
There
don't.
you go. I think that's how it's spelled.
Yep, yeah, that's right.
C-I-N-I? Yep.
Yep.
Do we remember who won the NLCS?
Yes.
MVP, sorry.
Bryce
NLC
Harper.
Was it Harper? Okay, then I already have him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I was just thinking of
The ALCS guy is still out there.
Still out there, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, Cody.
He was already on my radar. I was thinking about taking a Philly, but I already picked the Astros in 5. So I'm going to take Jeremy Pena as my
See,
fourth
I
pick.
wanted to take him, like I did, but he just won ALCS MVP. Now people are talking about him. How is he going to do in the World Series? Like,
and now the pressure really
it's kind of similar to Javi Baez in 16. Like Javi Baez was insane in the NLCS against the Dodgers, and then he really didn't do much in the World Series at all except hit a home run in Game 7 and play good defense. So that's just me. That's why I couldn't do it. Watch, he's going to hit like 5 homers now.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, Stuck.
I'm torn.
Stuckmeyer,
I'm torn
you're up.
between Fromber and you know what? I'm going all Phillies. I'm going Castellanos. Nick Nick Caste 2 L's ANOS.
Sean says Luke's going to run away with this.
If the Phillies win, I am.
Somehow, yeah.
Yeah, if the
And
Phillies win.
They might win in spite of some of these guys.
Yeah.
Because they might win because of my guy.
If they're a team of destiny, like everyone says, they will win because of other guys.
Well,
not just
Bryce
those
Harper
guys.
would have a hand in it for sure.
I'm saying
Yeah.
Bryce Harper will have the largest hand if they win.
Do you guys like your choices?
Love my choices.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Astros
Sold
don't win
out.
in 4 or 5, then I'm going to look like a real moron. So that's all. That's all that really matters at this point for me.
I
So.
still could take Maldonado. It's not set.
Or maybe if they do win
Well,
in
hey,
7.
take him.
No, I'm not taking him.
Maybe those
You're more-
all
you can
4
go
I'm
ahead.
not
guys have good
taking Martin
series.
Maldonado.
You're more
But I
than
could
welcome
take
to.
credit for any Astros pitcher. If I take Maldonado, I could say, well, Verlander, he couldn't have done it without Maldonado.
Yeah.
Colada said, pick Altuve. He's wiring up as we speak.
He, honestly, I mean,
I did. I took
Fastball.
him.
That's right.
Curveball.
Yeah.
honestly, he's due. And I wanted that pick if it got back to me in the 4th round. Like, he's, as much as, like, he almost tanked my first 3 round,
Yeah.
who you got, like, I think he's due for something big in the World Series. So we'll see.
Well, he's your type of guy. You like Madrigal, now you like Altuve.
Short
short
second
guy.
baseman.
Short
That
second
was
baseman.
me.
Short King energy, man.
Yeah.
Short Kings, man.
All right, that was fun. We'll see how it all plays out. I'm just hoping for a competitive World Series. Like, I hope the games are good. I don't want to sweep. I hope the games are fun to
I would
watch.
love to win some money.
They could be really good and still end up in a sweep. So,
That's true. But as long as the games are close.
You know baseball's rooting for 7 games.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see you again next week. Corey and Brendan will have a Friday podcast coming for you. We're back on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be here in studio. We got some guests coming in.
We got one guest coming in. And
some
then,
dialing in.
Yeah, and one dialing in.
Got some special stuff lined up for you. And by then, hopefully, I'll have the bratwurst juice off of my sweatshirt.
Don't forget, though, our tailgate next weekend.
I was gonna say,
the
Or
tailgate.
on the
We're all
November
getting ready.
6th.
not this weekend.
Yeah,
the
next
weekend
weekend.
after.
Correct.
November
When the
6th.
Bears
Dolphins game.
When the Bears covered
$46.
9.5. When the Bears covered 9.5 this weekend against the Cowboys, perhaps win outright, you're definitely going to want to be at this tailgate when they play the Dolphins the weekend after.
Get your $46 worth of tickets now. You know, you go buy $46 for everybody that's coming. You get your booze, your drinks, your food, all that stuff. There's parking there if you need parking. Vibes will be there. Because if the Bears beat the Cowboys, we're going to have to raise the price.
Frankly.
Because so many people are going to be coming. We're like, well, we might as well knock it up to 56, 66.
Yeah, get it now.
Get it now while it's hot. $46. We're all going to be there. And hopefully the weather is nice as well.
That would be ideal.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for dropping in to check out the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook. Sign up with the code CHGO when you do that today. Until then, fly the W.